What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we're gonna be making 5 amazing black deck profiles. We already know Machinedramon and Diaboromon are major pieces. I've tinkered around with them for my playtesting and made them a little more consistent, as best as I can. Diaboromon's kind of the underdog in that situation, so let's dive right into this video and let's talk about the 5 black decks you could definitely play in this format. Boys and girls, first off, we're going to talk about Black Reboot. Black Reboot is quite interesting of a list. We have Diaboromon, and that card is not going anywhere. I think this is a great card because opponent's turn, when one of your Digimon is deleted, trigger D-Digivolution. So they have to get rid of Diaboromon first, and if they don't and you block, you instantly trigger his D-Digivolution. So that means sometimes a combo skill can go off and they lose out on their warp evolutions, or Jesmon might lose out on their Digimon. Who knows? We'll have to see. And next we have Boltmon. This card is really amazing because when digivolving, D-Digivolve one Digimon. So if you survive the Jesmon play, you can come back in with Boltmon and D-Digivolve it. Hopefully he keeps it your turn, and then you win from there. So that's kind of a way of going about it. Then we also have Machinedramon Reboot. Digiburst to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 6 or less. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So being able to trash the top card might mean we kill off an option before we swing in, and even worst case scenario, we gain the ability to pop one of their Digimon. So it's a win-win all around with this card. So first off, we play Pagumon. So reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a black Digimon, instantly add it to your hand. We also play Toy Agumon for the reboot, so that our lesser Digimon that don't have base reboot, they will gain it. We play one Shumon to shut off any options that want to gain them extra memory. We have Machinedramon Blocker because he is a 4 cost, so if we build up, if we run into an ultimate flare, our Machinedramon will stay on board at least and is still at least semi-threatening because it is a blocker. Then we have Ridemyavatar, so you may trash one Digimon card with Machine or Cyborg and its traits in your hand, draw 2 cards. We have plenty of decent targets for this. We have Boltmon, we have Diaboromon, Machinedramon is also counted, so you have some decent targets here to be discarding. Our deck will gain us some advantage. We'll cycle through and gain some draws off of it. Next, we have Senzorimon. So all your black Digimon with 13,000 DP gain piercing, which is kind of huge for us. And while this Digimon is black, it has 13,000 or more DP. This Digimon gains security +1. So it's just really nice to have the extra security checks. Then we also play Toy Agumon. So if they don't swing in, especially in the early games, this might mean that we have a Digimon that can gain us some extra draws with the inheritable. Now we have Greymon for the jamming, so that if we have multiple security checks, we have at least a way of protecting through the attacks, because bigger Digimon will kill us off, but options would be the only threat we have to worry about. And hopefully Machinedramon can shut that off. Machinedramon is a blocker, and it's just there to shut down any of the Rookie Rush style decks, which we do face a lot in BT6 and EX-1. We also have Black Diaboromon. So Black Diaboromon is, while this Digimon has reboot, it gains jamming, which is really nice for us. Then we have Shademon in here, so if its surprise comes out in the security, it really does help out. Then we have Diaboromon being a blocker that can attack, but you may trash one Digimon from your machine or Cyborg and its traits from your hand to draw 2. So that might help out in the attacks to help filter and gain us some more cards we need. Then we have Machinedramon for reboot and gives our reboot an extra security check. Other option is Black Diaboromon. So while this Digimon has reboot, it gains +2,000 for its inheritable, and it has reboot in itself. So it now gives us jamming to swing in with, and then we can digivolve into the big guys, and then they'll restand, have the extra power boost, and it really does help out. Now we have Volcanomon. So while this Digimon, while your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon in play, this Digimon gains security +1. Kind of huge, getting those extra security pokes. We talked about the Megas, and Zaborg Punch is really nasty because if we can get to 6,000 DP, which is very likely, We gain blocker, reboot, and security +1, meaning we could combo out and win for no TK. Ultimate Flare being D-Digi Evolution 3, it's just nasty when it pops off against the hybrid decks, or not the hybrids, the Jessamon deck, the Bonds decks. At least if we can get rid of the big guy, we're pretty solid. Then we have Tai Kamiya being Tai Kamiya. If you have 2 memory or less, set your memory to 3, and all your black Digimon gain 1000 DP. So that means they get a little more beefier and become a big subsequent threat. Next, let's talk about it. Updated Commandramon. Commandramon got a few techie cards that you could definitely play in this set, and one being Hagoromon. Hagoromon being able to trash all our machine types, and that is Commandramon all in all. All the Commandramons do allow us to discard. So if we can draw 2, which might filter in and get us to a Dark Roar if we needed to kill off any of the annoyancy that is a Mechanorimon, so we can get rid of it. So it just really helps out at the end game. Pagumon's in here to reveal the top card of your deck if it's black, otherwise put it at the bottom of the deck. And then we have Tsumimon. For the fact of the matter is, we want to put it underneath this Commandramon, and if we have another Commandramon out, if they had Mechanorimon, we could swing in. At least Mechanori will die, or attempt to trade if they had a way of boosting it up by 1000 DP. So it does help out. Commandramons are kind of stagnant. We have a blocker Commandramon, 2 cost, a 4 cost, and a 1/3 cost with 1000 DP, revealing the top 3 cards of our deck. You may play one Commandramon among them without paying its memory cost. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order, which is kind of nice for us. Then we have Chumon being able to shut off our opponent's tamers, which kind of does need to happen. Dracmon's in here to reveal the top 3 to add 1 Drawmon to our hand. It still is quite useful in this set, and it lets us minus down on the Cordramons and not really care. Then we also have Sealdramon being blocker, lose 2 memory, just another target for the Dracmons, and just all around just great card. We have Cordramon in here for if it gets surprise popped in security, or if we get 3 memory and we gotta give our opponent 3 anyway, so let's draw 2. Darkdramon is our game finisher. He's always amazing. Return up to 5 cards with D-Brigade in their names from your trash to the top of your deck in any order. For each card return, this card gains 2 memory. You cannot do this unless you're at 3. You need to be at 3. If you're not at 3, you are not going to be able to activate this effect. So just remember that. Then we also have Machinedramon. So if you have 3 or fewer security cards, recovery +2, you may play 1 yellow level 3 Digimon. We do not care for that. We also have Zord Defeat, because Zord Defeat is nasty. If we can get a right combo play off, if we go Izzy and then we have Machinedramon able to be seen, we could definitely get a Zord Defeat on the top 3. If you know there's a Zord Defeat and we can recover it in, it would be really nasty to be able to do a surprise attack or get any of these amazing options in there. We have Dark Roar for just blowing up anything with that gets annoying. Mechanori to be exact, or just the more and more D-Brigades, the bigger it gets. You're not expected to kill anything with this naturally, but if you can get a wide enough board of Commandramons, you could definitely see it. Ultimate Flares to digivolve any of the opponent's big stacks. Iron Fist Onslaught is to delete all our opponent's big Digimon or wide boards. We have Izzy being Izzy, so reveal the top 3 cards. If you revealed are all black, gain 1 memory, place the remaining cards at the top of any order. Just how we would like it. Then we have Izzy Joe being Izzy Joe. So if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon because they have to play the game, you gain 2 memory. It's such free, and if you're one of the biggest thing that everyone forgets on the opponent's turn, if one of your Digimon dies of black, you can draw a card. Everyone forgets that card. Do not forget to draw with that. But this is Commandramon EX collection style. Next, let's talk about Black Royal Knights. Didn't really get much in the change department. It's still the same list as everybody expects it to be. Use Craniumon to create blockers that cannot be destroyed by card effects, leaving it only being able to be destroyed by minusing DP effects, which makes him kind of a nasty little bugger to deal with, especially because you use Megadramon to get under your Genkumons or Alphamons, and then you gain blocker while Craniumon's on board, protecting them all in all. And what you do also is use Gogamon's skill So Digiburst 1, one of your Digimon gets plus 2000 until the end of opponent's turn. If you know that the Jesmon play is coming, you could definitely load up your Craniumon so big and beefy that when they try to swing in with Jesmon, they lose out. So that's a big plus for us because they won't want to lose it. What also I figured would be a really great Tekken card is this card, Infirmon. When an opponent's Digimon digivolves into a level 5 or higher, gain 1 memory. This could throw off balances in game state, but also what's really nasty is all your other Digimon with the same name as this Digimon gains plus 2000 DP. This could help out with Craniumon. If we get 2 Craniumons on board, that means now his other Craniumon is 14, means less resources of us having to spend to make him bigger to block more attacks. So it really does help out. Next, we have Pagumon being revealed the top card of your deck. Add it to your hand if it is black Digimon card. Otherwise, place it at the bottom of the deck in any order. Then we have Comporiumon being, if it's blocker, gain 1000 DP. Toy Agumon is in here to be Toy Agumon for reboots. Chumon is in here to shut down memory gains, like, you know, we all know it. We are dealing with Hammer Sparks. Chinchorimon is at the end of battle, trigger DT Evolution 1. We have Tankdramons for 1 cost evolves, Senzorimon for the extra security if we can get beefy, and it really does make nasty. With all your black Digimon 13 gains piercing, that means we can deal damage even if they're trying to block us out. Mechanorimon for blocker, this Digimon can't attack. When this Digimon is deleted and survives, you know, restand. He's an infinite blocker under the right circumstances. Dark Tyrannomon is just in here for when attacking, well, for blocker, and just because if it falls under the Craniumon, they can't kill it with options, and that's really a problem for them. Genkumon's in here for delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. While your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon, this Digimon gains security +1. Really huge, really nasty. Alphamon's in here, not for that security effect, because I can tell you this, how often I actually see a bloody Alphamon in security is very little to none. So do not waste your time at this. At the end of battle, add this card to your hand. Then if you have a Digimon with Royal Knight or X Antibody and its typing in play, up to 12 of your opponent's Digimon cannot attack for the turn. When attacking, you may pay up to 5 memory. If you do, this Digimon gains 1000 DP for each memory paid. And gain, at the end of the attack, gain 2 memory. So you can actually resuscitate. You can instantly pay 2 and gain 2, or just swing in and just be a happy camper. Omnimon Zawart is just to be that recycle card if we lose out on any of our other Digimon and we need to play combo pieces back on board. Iron Fist Onslaught is delete all your opponent's Digimon. Black Memory Boost is delay, gain 2 memory. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 black Digimon card among them. Place the remaining in the bottom of the deck in any order. Then you have Tai Kamiya being Tai Kamiya, making our Digimon even beefier to make it so that we can survive Jesmon push turns. Izzy and Joe is just being there for when one of your black Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer, trigger draw 1. And don't forget about that, it's only on your opponent's turn. And then if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, gain 2 memory. We're going to punish them for playing the game, boys. Next, let's talk about it. Machinedramon is quite interesting. This little beastie is flying under everybody's radar, but it can be really nasty to deal with. I think perfectly the best way of playing it is playing Ultimate Connection at 4. It is still a versatile card. You trash one to hopefully dig deeper for that Machinedramon, because your deck doesn't play unless you see your Machinedramons. That is huge. Then you also need Analog Youth, Izzy and Joe's, just to help filter and draw cards and gain memory. So that's kind of the all in all. This is your big boss Digimon. As I've said, Machinedramon is an amazing card all in all around best friend to everybody. So if you play, you may play up to 5 level, put up to 5 level 5 red or black Digimon with Cyborg in their traits, different card numbers from your hand, or trash this Digimon Digivolves to gain 1 memory. He comes in for 7 basically if you can get all 5 in, which is kind of huge. You gain 1 memory. The only problem comes down to is that you need to be at 12 to play him. You need to be at 2 minimum to play him. So don't think that you can play him at 11 and still get his effect off. He is after the fact. All turns this Digimon DP cannot be reduced, shuts off Yellow's whole gimmick, and all turns when this Digimon would be deleted, you may trash 2 level 5 cards in the CG Evolution cards to prevent the deletion from being deleted. And if they try to use Ultimate Flare on this thing, you're just going right to an Ultimate anyway, so keep that in mind. We have Analog Youth to help filter and search, reveal top 3, and add 1 Digimon card from among them to your hand, place trash the remaining cards. We're hoping to mill our 5s to help filter our deck. But what's really nice is when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon is deleted with Digi Evolution cards, you may suspend this tamer. If you do, gain 1 memory, then hatch 1 Digi Egg and in an empty space in your breeding area. Ultimate Flare is D-Digivolve 3, one of your opponent's Digimon, and if it is a level 3 with a play cost 3 or less, or Digimon with a play cost 3 or less, instantly delete it. Zwart Defeat is just to help get ultimates back on board. And then Chaosmon is in here for that Pierce swing in. If your opponent has nasty little buggers that want to just have Reboot, you can just swing in and get rid of it. Kamporimon is Kamporimon. While this Digimon has Reboot, it gains 1000 TP. Then you have Pagumon, so reveal the top card of your deck, add it to your hand if it is black Digimon, otherwise place it at the bottom. Chumon is to shut off all the annoyancing of Hammer Sparks. Commandramon is in here for blockers. Chichorimon is to de-digivolve any threatening guys that are trying to throw at us. Higurumon's in here for discarding to draw 2. It helps out, especially early game, because you play them down. You have all the cyborg types to toss out, so you're just going to enjoy that. Then we have Mechamon for black decoy. So what we want to do is be able to transition the decoy to him if they're going to try to target and kill Machinedramon, giving us an alternative way of not losing out on our Machinedramon earlier, especially when he gets down to less and less options in him. You're going to want to be able to keep him alive. Gardramon's blocker, and this Digimon can attack, and you may trash 1 Digimon card with Machine or Cyborg in traits from in your hand to draw 2. Then you have Gigadramon, so this Digimon is treated as red, but is also opponent's turn plus 2000 DP, making him a little more threatening, because especially 13 might mean it can trade quite nicely. Then you have Volcandramon for the extra security check. This is really nice. Then we do have Androidmon, so you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 level 6 Digimon with Machine in its traits from among them to your hand, trash the remaining cards. That's really nice. And then while this Digimon has Machine in its traits, gain blocker. Really amazing. We're going to Digivolve on top of the Gardramons, or we're going to Digivolve pretty much on top of the Gardramon. That's about it. Then we have Metal Tyrannomon. When Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add level 6 Machine type. It's not digging deep enough, but hopefully we see the Machinedramon. And while this Digimon has Machine in its trait, gain Reboot. Then we have Metal Mamamon, so same thing as the other 3, but if this Digimon has Machine in its traits, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with play cost 5 or less. Then we have Megadramon. So Megadramon's in here for one good reason, and I like this, because he makes anything, if they de-digivolve this Machinedramon down, Megadramon can go at bottom, and then you still have a decent sized blocker to complete the game with. Just keep that in mind. Remember how everything is ordered, because if they ever have Ultimate Flare, they can de-digivolve your stuff. So you want to make sure you place it in the right order and sequence to matter the most. Metal Greymon is this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP. That is kind of huge for us. We want to have our Machinedramon have a big beefy swing. Then Megadramon's in here for the extra security check. If it is Machine, security plus 1. On play, delete up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP. That's just to get rid of any nasty little rookies. Then we have Metal Greymon. When this Digimon attacks a player, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 or less DP. When this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its game in its typing, Piercing is its name of the game. So we can give it a couple security checks and pierce and swing in with beefy numbers, and we could definitely win the game that way. Then we have Chaosdramon, and that is just to kill threatening stuff. Zwart Defeat is to set up these ultimates again. Usually you want to take out anything that might be quite useful. Then you have Ultimate Flare, de-digivolving. Then you have Ultimate Connection, really great card. Izzy Joe, as usual, just an Analog Youth is huge. Next, let's talk about it. Major issues I keep finding with Diaboromon is that he wants to be a blocker this set. He does not want to be OTK strat. He wants that as an alternate win con. So that's what we're going to use it as. We're going to play him at 1 and Armageddonmon at 1, so that we need time to build up our board state and stuff like that, because we don't have really much a super draw engine until we get multiple erratas out with Diaboromon, and then that's kind of what slows us down a bit. So we have Tsumimon for if this Digimon is unidentified, you in his type draw 1. This is to help out early game status, so that when we use our Caramons up, we can swing in, draw a card, and hopefully dig a little deeper to get to this Caramon or anything else that might help us out. So then we have Tsumimon. So while this Digimon in the same name as this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP, just helps out get Diaboromon a little more beefier, or any of our other guys. Caramon's in here for that trigger draw 1 when we produce a token. And Chumon is, well, when we, on our turn, when our Digimon activates and produces a same name, because they're going to produce tokens with the errata, you're going to draw multiple cards. A really nasty little bugger. Caramon's in here for reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with unidentified in its type and 1 errata sonata from the cards from your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So we're hopefully going to hit the errata and Caramon. So Caramon's also here for each other Digimon you have in play. This Digimon with the same name as this Digimon gains 1000 DP. So really nice to make our Diaboromon a little more beefy cakes and make them a little more threatening. Kasorimon's in here, so when you play another Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, gain 1 memory, and that really does help out. The only time it shuts off is when they have Chumons or any Medoke Betamons on board. Kasorimon's in here, so if you don't have an errata sonata in play, you get to play 1 from your hand when you digivolve this thing. All your other Digimon with the same name as this Digimon gains rush, so it gives us an alternate win con in the sense that this Diaboromon, as long as you don't swing with him right away and you swing in with all the tokens first, then this, you could have a massive wide board that can just swing in and kill your opponent pretty quickly. It's an OTK strat in a different way, and we don't have to rely heavily on this Diaboromon anymore. Then we have Kasorimon, so when one of your other Digimon with the same name as this Digimon is deleted, unsuspend it. That was what we like. Then we have this Kasorimon, and this Kasorimon I think is quite needed. Playing him at 2 is fine in my opinion. All your other Digimon with the same name as this Digimon gains Decoy and Black/Black/White, being able to redirect that lethal, because you need to play Protect the Castle on your blocker Diaboromon, because if they can option kill him, you're in trouble. Then you lose out on your blockers, and that's usually what you need to do to win the game. Infirmon is when this Digimon digivolves into a Diaboromon in your hand, reduce the memory cost by 1, so making it quite easier to digivolve these guys by 2 and making your opponent kind of sad. Then we have Infirmon, so your Caramon can digivolve into this from your hand with a memory cost 4, ignoring its evolution requirements. Really nasty. And then on deletion, you may play 1 Diaboromon token without paying its memory cost. So if we swing in, we lose out on it, on let's say Diaboromon with the multiple security checks, and he dies, at least we get a token out of the deal. Not terrible. Then we have Infirmon, so when an opponent's Digimon digivolves into a level 5 or higher Digimon, gain 1 memory once per turn. Kind of wish this mattered and did it multiple times a turn. It wouldn't be broken. It would be quite fair of a thing, but it could have just been in form in the saying, as long as it has a unidentified Digimon in its inheritables, it could trigger this multiple times. That would make it a very fair card and make it so your opponent can't just go wombo combo on you. All your other Digimon with the same name as this Digimon gains plus 2000 DP. Really nasty, especially when we produce multiple tokens and we can have a Diaboromon blocker, and then this one producing multiple tokens on the outgo. Then we have this Diaboromon for multiple security checks. We're not trying to OTK that way. We're trying to OTK by token spam. This one produces a Diaboromon token when digivolving, which could mean a multiple buttload of drawing and gaining memory, so keep that in mind. Diaboromon, this one really has a nasty one, gives us all blocker, but it also gives us on play Diaboromon without paying its memory cost, which is kind of huge. Then Armageddonmon is for that rush, and being able to shut off level 7s is kind of nice. Catastrophe Cannon is to trigger de-evolution on one of your opponent's Digimon, just to de-digivolve it, and then it produces a Diaboromon token if you have a Diaboromon out. Not bad. Ultimate Flare is to get rid of any pesky megas off the board. We like that. And then Izzy's in here to reveal the top 3. If they're all black, you kind of gain a memory, and it comes in for 3. Not terrible, but also he just sets us to 3, and it just guarantees us a couple memory a turn, because if we don't have Errata out, we're kind of playing a lot slower. So we kind of need to guarantee us to be at 3 memory anyway. So, and at least having knowledge on what's on the top of our deck might mean a lot more viability. Errata is in here to help produce those Diaboromon tokens we love. And then if you have a Digimon with Undefensified in its trash, gain 1 memory. Really nasty, because then your opponent has to play the game of where am I putting you? And if you have Izzy out, you instantly go to 4. It's not terrible. Hopefully you enjoyed these lists. Let me know down in the comments, what would you make modifications to? What deck are you excited for in the EX collection? And I will catch you in the next video. Peace!